CTBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.
We are family.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
追剧追成兄弟，申办 Hi Netflix 方案 ，HiNet 招待你看1年 Netflix，一家多装置追剧，就算生活不同步，心也能同步。Hi Netflix。
等等，你追到下一集了，哦，人家等一下才要看啦。你回来了，这集好好看哦。
母女追剧追成姐妹，申办 Hi Netflix 方案，HiNet 招待你看1年 Netflix，一家多装置追剧，就算生活不同步，心也能同步。Hi Netflix。
CTBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.
We are family.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
哎，宝贝，我等来了。
好的。
喜欢新的美加模式吗？
妈妈来家里吃饭。
大号要做饭啊！哎，宝贝，我要去吃饭。
好的。
8种情境任你切换，属于台湾人的智慧音箱，i 宝贝。
哎，这下
永远走在最前面，中华电信。
你真的下一集了？哦，人家等一下才要看啦。
不会了，这集好好看哦。
母女追剧，追成姐妹，申办 High Netflix 方案，HiNet招待你看1年 Netflix，一家多装置追剧，就算生活不同步，心也能同步。High Netflix。
CDBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.
We are family.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
追剧追成兄弟，申办 High Netflix 方案，HiNet招待你看1年 Netflix，一家多装置追剧，就算生活不同步，心也能同步。High Netflix。
哎，宝贝，我等了。
好的。喜欢新的美加模式吗？
妈妈来家里吃饭。
大号要做饭啊！哎，宝贝，我要去吃饭。
好的。
8种情境任你切换，属于台湾人的智慧音箱，i 宝贝。
哎，这下
永远走在最前面，中华电信。
CDBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.
We are family.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
追剧追成兄弟，申办 Hi Netflix 方案 ，Hi Net 招待你看1年 Netflix，一家多装置追剧，就算生活不同步，心也能同步。Hi Netflix。
等等，你真的下一集了？哦，人家等一下才要看啦。
你回来了，这集好好看哦。
母女追剧追成姐妹，申办 Hi Netflix 方案，Hi Net 招待你看1年 Netflix，一家多装置追剧，就算生活不同步，心也能同步。Hi Netflix。
CDBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.
We are family.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
Hey everyone, SafeLocked here on behalf of the League team. Today we want to share some of our upcoming plans for events, game modes, and skins. Let's start with the upcoming summer event. Back in January, Viego, the Ruin King, returned to Runeterra. He defeated Senna and Lucian, and since then the stakes have been slowly rising. Starting next week, we'll follow the rise of the Sentinels as they band together with new and familiar faces against Viego and make a last stand to save Runeterra from ruin. After Spirit Blossom, we heard how much you enjoyed these more immersive events in the client, and so we'll be doing something similar for Sentinels of Light. Additionally, this event will be based in core canonical lore. Every skin, story, and moment you experience in the MOBA will be moving the story of Runeterra and its champions forward, which is something we know you've wanted for a long time. This won't always be the case for our big events. Each year, we'll explore different directions to help them stand out on their own, rather than continuing a pattern. No matter what it looks like, we hope those of you who enjoyed Spirit Blossom will be excited for Sentinels of Light and whatever 2022 might bring, and so on. And with that, let's jump into game modes. When it comes to game modes, we believe modes that amplify champion fantasies are a sweet spot. For example, in URF, we amplify fantasies by asking, what if my champion could cast all the time? And in One For All, we ask, what if my champion could stack with itself? We've been running game modes like this alongside every event, but we know it's been a while since we've tried something new. So today, I'm happy to say that we're launching a brand new game mode alongside the Sentinels of Light event. This mode started with a different question. Which ultimate would you steal to pull off the wombo combo of your dreams? The result is Ultimate Spellbook. In Ultimate Spellbook, you get to choose another champion's ult from 3 different options. You'll still get your ultimate as usual, and your new ult will take the place of one of your summoner's spells. This means you'll be able to use it after a short initial cooldown. Have you ever wanted 3 gap closers on Nasus? Or to double snipe an enemy? Maybe you just want someone to finally peel for you. No matter your dream, this is your time to shine. We can't wait to see all the crazy combos you all come up with. And with that, let's hand things over to Ambrielle, who's going to talk a little bit about skins.
Hi everyone, I'm Ambrielle and I'm the product lead for the skins team, filling in for Bellissimo. We have a lot to talk about, so let's jump right into it. Because we're making more and more skins every year, it's important that we find new thematics you're all really excited about. So this year we wanted to explore some new worlds and expand on a few smaller ones. One of our biggest new thematics so far has been Space Groove, and we gotta say, you were all really vibing with this one. We took a bit of a risk here, as Space Groove doesn't really look or sound like anything we've done before. But you all seem to really love the fresh new approach, so we'll be revisiting this groovy galaxy in the future. While not a brand new thematic, these were a hit. During development, our team was excited about them, but we were still surprised by just how much you loved them. So you can definitely expect to see more bees buzzing onto the rift at some point. One new thematic that didn't go as well as we'd hoped was Lunar Beasts. Sometimes we try something new and it just doesn't hit the mark. So next year, along with an old favorite, you can expect a new skin line to celebrate the Lunar New Year. During the thematic vote in January, you all chose Crime City Nightmare as the new thematic you'd like to see. Debonair 2.0 came in at a close second, so we decided to make them both. First up is Crime City Nightmare, the dark and mysterious Cthulhu-inspired cityscape. Since January, we've made a lot of progress on building out this world. This means everything from shape language to color schemes and determining just how many spooky eyeballs is too many. Today, we're ready to share the final concepts for Akali and Twisted Fate. In these pieces, you can really see how we've played around with how each champion can fully embrace their eldritch power during high points of their gameplay. Right now, we're working on bringing these designs along with 3 other skins into the game. If everything goes as planned, the dark underbelly of Valorant City will make itself known next month. Then later this year, Debonair 2.0 will tell the story of champions vying for powerful elixirs in a modern noir world. We're still early on in development for exploring this opulent universe, but are excited about the progress we've made in landing their VFX in a really fresh space. Before we go, we wanted to say a quick word on skins overall. We've been keeping up a pretty good pace these days, and we're on track to hit over 140 skins this year. As a part of that effort, we've made more skins for underserved champions, and while there's always more work to do, one name has been coming up more often than others, and that's Kayn. While we're not ready to share a concept just yet, we can confirm that Kayn has a new skin in development, and we're looking forward to getting it into your hands later this year. That's all we have for today. As always, thanks so much for being the players that make all of this possible, and we'll see you next time.
CTBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.
We are family.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
追剧追成兄弟，申办 Hi Netflix 方案 ，HiNet 招待你看1年 Netflix，一家多装置追剧，就算生活不同步，心也能同步。Hi Netflix。
等等，你真的下一集了？哦，人家等一下才要看啦。
我回来了，这集好好看哦。
母女追剧追成姐妹，申办 Hi Netflix 方案，HiNet 招待你看1年 Netflix，一家多装置追剧，就算生活不同步，心也能同步。Hi Netflix。
CTBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're we're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.
We are family.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me.
Welcome back to the Pacific Championship Series. My name is Clement Chu, and I'm going to be your host and play-by-play for the day. Alongside with me is Nightstar, filling in as the color position. Today we're going to have a little bit of a special sauce for you to fill out yesterday's game that delayed due to a power outage between Berjaya Dragons and Impunity. So we're going to have an expedited start here. Of course, we have to thank our sponsors, CTBC Bank, China Airlines, and Chunghwa Telecom, and our organizers at Riot Games, Garena, and Carry Live for making all of this possible. Now, with that out of the way, let's go straight into the series. What did you think about yesterday's kind of start between these two teams, Berjaya on one side and Impunity on the other?
Yeah, I mean, looking at what we had yesterday, it definitely favored the side of Impunity, right? Because they had a very strong top side, and then they also had this Thresh Jinx lane to play around. So it felt like that even though there were some advantages for the side of Berjaya, especially in that mid lane, with how far ahead that Lissandra was getting, at least in CS and EXP wise, it didn't seem like Impunity were going to lose control of that game. But things are going to change possibly this time around because we're going in with brand new pick ban. So a lot of things can happen with Berjaya making some adaptations, going, hey, you know, maybe we don't pick such a low damage composition, and maybe we find ways to involve the rest of our team in getting a little bit more damage.
And that's the most important thing to note, that, you know, we did put out some news that there might have been a chrono break back into the original game state, but League Operations has decided that we are giving both teams a new draft. And like you mentioned, this is my opinion as well, Berjaya do get off the hook just a little. That draft was definitely favorable on Impunity's side. We'll see if Berjaya can come in with something a little bit better right here. This is going to be the roster for today. It's going to be the same roster as the entire split so far. Ozzy in the top side, Enzo in jungle, Minji in the mid lane, K2, and of course your DLC character, Thelia, in the bottom side.
Yeah, and Philia hasn't had the best of showings to the start of the split. Yesterday, he had a couple of blunders where, yes, it did seem like he was on page with the call, but he seemed to be just a little bit too impatient when it came to actually conducting the play. So he ended up taking a little bit too much damage or just dying before the play was actually able to fully develop.
I would definitely be willing to chalk that one up to some ping issues right there. As we heard, there were some of those in-game as well. Now moving on to Impunity side, Top King in top lane, of course, Epic in jungle, Moon Black, these two guys are new additions, and Blaze plus Smurf to round out the bot lane duo.
Yeah, and going into Impunity's roster, Epic, Moon Black, they've really integrated well so far into the roster, especially Moon Black with his trademark Heimerdinger. He brought it out game number 1. Game number 2, it got immediately first banned. I expect that to be the trend moving forward for most of this split, just because of the fact that most players don't get any I don't know if you can ever find a Heimerdinger to practice against in mid lane besides Moon Black.
And like we anticipated, the Heimerdinger goes straight into the ban list. First ban taken away by Berjaya Dragons. They're also going to take away Xin Zhao, very strong early jungling. And in Impunity, they take away Viego plus the LeBlanc. So a lot of the strong picks from yesterday still left over. We saw the Thresh Jinx combo by Impunity and also the LeBlanc here first picked for Impunity side as well. So let's see what Berjaya are going to shake things up a little. This time, ooh, Gwen is taken out and Nocturne is open. So the top lane will have to change here, but Minji does get his patented Zoe open as well. We're going to see the Nocturne as the first lock-in. Very, very strong champion, especially on this Strawbreaker patch.
Yeah, Nocturne's still very powerful on this patch. That's the big thing to really take away here is Impunity. It means that Thresh is left open and they can go ahead lock that one in for themselves, and then on R3 they can go ahead and lock in some sort of hyper carry, AD carry to pair up with it. Aphelios very strong in this patch, but Jinx definitely a worthwhile mention as well. They go ahead, lock in the LeBlanc for Moon Black here, and this is kind of his I would say he's got 3 main champions. One, of course, is that Heimerdinger, but then the other 2 is the LeBlanc and the Lulu. So very different play styles for all 3 of those champs, but he's really liked all 3 of them. And for Jaya, they go ahead, lock in the Nautilus to match that Thresh lane.
Perhaps a bit of a eclectic player with all those different champs. Yeah. It really sounds hard when you have an assassin, you have Heimerdinger, which is in his own category. But for Berjaya, they're going to go with what has worked so far. Lissandra versus LeBlanc has been the winning matchup throughout most of day 2, and frankly, we haven't really seen LeBlanc pop up as much as we wanted. So very similar draft on both sides so far, only the top lane changing a little bit, the Nocturne being selected right here. And it looks like Impunity are just going to go back to what they had in the original draft. Thresh plus Jinx, not broken, don't fix.
Yeah, they're just going to go straight back, and very similar opening phase for the side of Impunity here. And we'll see how the rest of the draft does change up here, because they go ahead, ban away the Kai'Sa this time around. The Kai'Sa pick was that bot lane champ for K2 in the previous iteration of, well, yesterday's game, but he's going to have to find something else this time around. For the side of Berjaya, they're going to be looking at, I would say, targeting mostly the jungle pool, I would say, but it does look like they want to throw a ban over towards that Renekton as well.
Now, I believe we did have Trundle coming out in the previous draft. Renekton, of course, another really, really strong top laner. Nobody really wants to play against that. Thinking about other champions that go well into Nocturne. Nocturne this patch is still very potent and just full clearing the wave, so I don't really even think he has terrible matchups all around the board. And we'll see if there's a jungle ban like you mentioned right here, but a lot of jungle still up. Mundo actually going to be the target right here. It's a bit of an interesting one, but I could see it pairing quite well in the front-to-back composition that Impunity may go for.
Yeah, and it seems like for Berjaya, they want to leave up the AP junglers and hopefully bait Impunity into taking one of those, as they take a little bit longer to scale up, and that means Nocturne can flex into the jungle, but then they go ahead, lock in the Olaf. I expect to see this Nocturne go into a solo lane in that case, but still some flex potential if they do lock in this Volibear, so leaving perhaps an out for the side of Berjaya when it comes to filling out what the lane matchups will be.
Let's go.
Hover. Okay.
Let's go. Oh, come on. We've been seeing good Draven performances pop off all across different leagues. We've got it in the LEC, we've got it in the LPL. You know, even Viper trying his hand on that one. But no, Berjaya Dragons are just going to go back to tried and true. Ezreal is going to be the last lock-in. Impunity Top King has a chance to counterpick right here. Ooh, this is spicy. Aurelia versus Nocturne. Pre-buff Aurelia, of course, so probably not that excited about it. And then I think Top King remembers is like, oh, this is an 11.14. Okay. I'll try to match the global instead. Goes back to something that I would say is a lot less confrontational, but just decides to go for the game plank in the very end.
Yeah, the game plank pick lock in here just offers so much team fight power here for the side of Impunity. They've got the Gangplank, they've got the Olaf, they have the Jinx, just a whole lot of team fight power, and especially into a low range composition like Berjaya with the Volley, Nocturne, and the Lissandra. These are all champions that are going to struggle once they get into the fight. They have no way out of the GP ult, so it's really all on K2 when it comes to the mid and late game. And I mean, before that, they just have to try and snowball around these big ultimates with the Nocturne, Volley, and the Lissandra. So I expect a lot of bot lane focus once they hit level 6.
I definitely agree with you. You know, it seems like the left side from Berjaya is a lot about picks and catches, global plays. But on the other hand, Gameplay can just drop his cannon barrage and just kind of doom your entire team. So once again, personally, I feel like Impunity does have a bit of the lead with the draft once more. How do you see these two team compositions playing out?
Yeah, I think Impunity have a lot more flexibility with what they can do with this draft here. Olaf has the ability to go very, very aggressive into the jungle of the Volibear, so he can look for skirmishes, he can look for ganks, especially since, you know, Nocturne not exactly the most mobile of champions, so definitely some potential there. And then he has a really strong first two team fights just because there's not a whole lot of damage to burst through an Olaf at that point in the game. However, for the side of Berjaya, again, it's all about that snowball potential. At level 6, they have to pull the trigger. They have to continuously pull the trigger every single time those cooldowns are up and available.
Seems like Berjaya have to play a pretty tight game for this draft to work out. But we will be heading into the Rift very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the final game from day 2, but because of some power outage issues, we will be having a completely new draft and kind of resuming this extra match on day 3, which is what the calendar day is supposed to be for the PCS so far. And unfortunately for Impunity, this does mean that they will actually be playing 3 games on the day. A bit of a busier schedule for them. We do wish that, you know, them the best of luck and they're able to power through the last day on week 1 here. Just waiting to get into patch. Seems like we have some extra time to talk about, you know, different things that happened so far. I do want to get your take on what you've seen so far from day 2 of the PCS and how you think what teams have been the most surprising for you, or which individual player you have actually enjoyed the most.
Yeah, I think my big takeaway from yesterday was that J-Team are a team that aren't going to be too strapped on this meta. I remember going into day 1, I was thinking, you know, Hana, maybe this might not be his kind of patch, and if that's not the patch, how many patches is it going to take for J-Team to get online? But that Lee Sin performance was truly something else. Really coming alive with that pick against, I believe it was Boom, and really took it to him.
Man, that was such a great game to watch from JT. Really didn't expect that from Hana. Once again, we're going to have to name drop him throughout the week. But for now, we are heading on to the rift between Berjaya Dragons and Impunity from Singapore to finish off what we started in day 2. It looks like the teams are spreading across the rift right here. No level 1 shenanigans. We've seen a lot of level 1 brush baits, especially when you see something like an Olaf and Thresh. You definitely expect a bit of that. And in fact, in yesterday's game, we did have Berjaya with the cheese against Smurv getting his flash pretty early on. It looks like that isn't going to be the case today. Just going to have a very standard spread. Taking a look at the runes for right now, it is going to be fairly standard across the board.
Yeah, nothing too surprising here. I'm a little bit disappointed I didn't get to. I don't get to cast the Trundle jungle. I thought that was a pretty nice pick there, especially into the Volibear. But unfortunately, this time they had to go ahead and blind pick their jungler, which meant that Berjaya did get some autonomy as far as deciding what the jungle matchup would be. And this slow start, you know, I would say benefits Smurv a lot because now he gets to play with all the cooldowns in his kit.
Didn't seem like he actually needed them though. Like he was still doing pretty okay in lane, as we're going to see Moonblack go in for a bit of a trade. It's pretty typical to see LeBlancs do this. You really want your bone plating down early. And meanwhile in the bot lane, Smurv checking the brush this time is going to get some free hits on Felia, but unfortunately misses the flay.
Yeah, and that means Felia, he can walk up.
That's going to be the straight hook onto Smurv, taking him. Actually, they still win the trade on that one, so the aggression not really working out. Ozzy going in onto Top King. Top King is able to dance out of those Umbral Blades. Doesn't really get the extra healing right here, and we're going to see a couple more shots to the face as Top King uses range in this matchup.
Yeah, and this top side is going to be fairly focused on just trying to get as much farm as possible, but level 2s coming through in this bot lane means that we're going to have a little bit of aggression here.
Felia gets hooked in, but they get him onto the Flame Chopper. Smurf is the target, and he is dropping low. The flash straight in behind Smurf to take him out, and this is going to be a 2-for-0 start on Berjaya's side. Wow, Felia actually opened with a missed hook, but it looked like Smurf actually went a little bit overboard, went beyond the minion line, and paid dearly for that one.
Yeah, and that's the difference between Smurf having that Guardian and then having that Aftershock, right? In these smaller trades, you definitely win out with that Guardian, but in a full-on trade like that, you definitely favor Aftershock here for Felia. He's able to proc that, and for Smurf, you know, you absorb a little bit of that early damage, but you cannot sustain the trade long enough, so he ends up falling for that first blood, and as a result, Blaze also falls down there. So K2 having a brilliant start there and a good start for the rookie as well.
It definitely seems like Felia understood the damage calculations a lot better there. He actually allowed himself to be hooked in by Smurf. And let's just say Smurf took that hook, line, and sinker. Massive win for Berjaya in the early game right now. And in the mid lane, as we're seeing, Minji, once again, off to a pretty good start. You know, this is, we have seen some LeBlancs be able to out-muscle the Lissandra, but usually takes a little bit longer, usually takes that Mimic for this to really be the case. And it seems like Berjaya Dragons are, wow, they really reversed what the early game has looked like in the previous game.
Yeah, it's a brilliant start for them here, and that's going to feel good for them as well once they do get their level 6s up in that top half of the map, right? Especially onto the Volibear. They might not even need the rest of the solo lane tools to facilitate dives bot. If they're this far ahead, they can probably just use a Volibear ult and make do with that. But now Moonblack, he is a little bit low on mana here.
Yeah, almost goes down. In fact, he does! Minji chases through on the Frozen Claw and gets the gets the solo kill in the mid lane. Moonblack held onto his flash, but that still was a pretty surprising turn of events right here, as all three of Impunity's lanes are now behind.
Yeah, put some respect on that name. Minji just goes 1v1 against Moonblack, the new addition into that mid lane. Welcome back to the PCS, good sir, says Minji as he finds himself that solo kill. That's gonna, again, help him out considerably for this mid game. And you know, before the start of the day, me and you were talking about kind of like the meta, and you were mentioning how much tempo compositions are extremely powerful, and this is exactly that. It's a tempo comp that, while it does fall off a cliff pretty hard, it definitely hits really hard at level 6 though.
Top King gonna face check into a brush. Ozzy chasing after him, but doesn't really have that much damage to go past. Ozzy should be hitting very close to level 6, and Top King immediately has to run away. Paranoia damage could still kill him here, so he's making sure to back out all the way. But Enzo is coming in for the chase down. The E's gonna get used. Paranoia catches sight of him nearsighted and has to expend his flash to get out.
Yeah, but no mana on Ozzy means that he is able to walk away, and it will be a trade into that bot side dragon for Impunity. They get themselves this mountain dragon, and that helps out just a little bit. But Top King losing his flash there, has to expend the teleport to get back up top lane, which means that Ozzy, he's going to have a little bit more freedom with his own teleport available. And, well, once he gets that ultimate up, he has really full control about what he wants to do on the map.
This is just so crazy. I didn't expect Berjaya's all 3 lanes actually outplaying their opponents so far. You know, top lane, pretty much that was a solo thing. Like, Top King would have to back and expend his teleport. Of course, the jungle pressure nets them an extra flash, but that was primarily Ozzy just winning out. Minji doing the same thing, getting a solo kill, and bot lane was a straight 2v2 win as well. So, you know, we did talk about us favoring Impunity's draft overall, but what do they need to do now to get back into the game? Maybe they need to fix some tech issues. We don't really know what's happening behind the scenes, but we're going to have a while to talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to have a short little break here to really reflect about it, but replay here as we get to see that 1v1 solo bolo coming in from Minji. And I mean, it's just Moonblack without any resources really, and he goes for an errant trade and gets punished for it.
Yeah, this is misses the chain, lands on a minion right here, and that's all the crowd control gone. I love what Minji did there. Really held on to the last second of the glacial path, but I gotta say, I'm so surprised that a level 4 Lissandra without her ultimate is able to get a kill on LeBlanc. That was definitely unexpected, and you know, we did see some misplays coming in from Moonblack, not really landing his abilities there.
Yeah, I would say that was a little bit more on Moonblack than Minji really creating that opportunity. It was more of, well, he got gifted the opportunity, and he full-heartedly accepted, because I mean, who doesn't like free stuff?
Yeah, I heard the Watchers are definitely looking for sacrifices up in Freljord, so that's a decent one for the Void Gods that will one day visit our world. And we're going to be taking a look at the gold difference so far. It's been Berjaya Dragons the entire way, and now we see a swap coming out. K2 and Felia preemptively going up towards the Herald. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, it really just tells you that the side of Berjaya, they want to just really up the pace on this game. They force a Rift Herald here. The side of Impunity are not ready for it at all. They have Jinx sitting down in that bottom lane by herself, so at the very least she's able to get some gold for herself, but it's not like the side of Berjaya have to sacrifice a whole lot for it, because they have Nocturne down there to match as well. So it's really just a full-hearted win for the side of Berjaya. And yes, you use the Gangplank call to try and clear the wave, but Rift Herald now dump top lane means that they get first turret.
Yeah, what a smooth transition coming in from Berjaya. None of the members from Impunity were even able to make it across river, even when Berjaya Dragons were clearly on top of that Herald. So massive prio coming out from Berjaya, forcing Impunity back, and it looks like a second charge going to be gifted to Shelly. There's no one here to really block that one from going down. Wow, this is such a stark difference from Berjaya. Much stronger early game. Probably the strongest early game that I've seen from Berjaya for not even just for summer, but kind of for spring as well.
Yeah, and one of the things to note of this Berjaya roster is the fact that they've stayed relatively together. So no changes really here. And the big thing is, of course, K2. He's moved from support back into the AD carry position, where I would assume he's a lot more comfortable. But now that he's added a little bit of game knowledge, it does look like he's a bit more on the same page when it comes to making these map-wide rotations. So I would assume that that call was made by K2 to move both of the bot lane duo over to that Rift Trail to make that play happen.
Right now we're seeing on our map that this is not Pirates of the Caribbean, this is Pirates of the Jungle. As we see Gameplink actually clearing out the Krugs. He really had nowhere to farm. He couldn't farm in the top lane. We saw that pincer move from Ozzy and Enzo, and then again with the duo coming to this top lane and the Herald drop, he's not been having a great time. We see the lane allocation. It's almost been a full like 2 minutes before Top King has actually been able to take down minions. He's going to get a bit of that in the mid lane, but now Berjaya Dragons are moving on the bot. This is going to be a 4-man dive. Can they counteract in time? The box is going to come down, but Blaze is already down. A second kill might be gifted over, but they do punish Enzo for going under the tower. Moonblack still dead though, and Felia is trying to make it out. The heal goes down. Undertow doesn't land. Berjaya Dragons walk away with a 1-for-2 trade plus the tower.
Yeah, and the big thing here is the fact that they go 2-for-1 in that bot side dive, and more importantly, they just keep on farming more and more plates. They got all 5 up in the top side. They're going to be able to get 3 right here in this bot side, and they could just be able to finish off the rest of them here. And if that's the case, like K2, he is so far ahead of the curve when it comes to gold. He's going to get 1 more plate. And yeah, that's just so much extra gold for this Ezreal. He is so far snowballed. And we get to see a replay of this dive. And Enzo dives, uses his ult to finish off the kill. And that actually kind of brings him a little bit too far away from the rest of his team. So he ends up getting traded out. But still a massive win for the side of Berjaya, and Inferno Dragon on top of that.
Yeah, we saw Enzo actually did manage to disable the tower right there, so still a lot of damage coming through, but hey, small execution mistakes aside, that was still an incredibly clean play coming for Berjaya. They get another objective, and now we see Impunity resorting to Death Rush tactics. They're going to find Ozzy, but he still has his flash. Can Moonblack follow right here? Undertow does land. Moonblack goes over the wall, but there's a
I've seen this before.
Waiting for him. It's just at his fingertips. He's going in for the kill. Just one more auto attack. Potion's ticking. He doesn't find it. Nocturne manages to walk out, and now the cleanup crew comes over for Berjaya's side. They're going to find Moonblack for the 3rd time this game, and Epic is on the run. Ragnarok falls off, Stormbringer already used, excuse me, and they do not get anything. Impunity expend a lot of resources, but Ozzy, with that sliver of health and with the corrupting potion ticking, manages to escape.
And the game is starting to become a little bit undone here for the side of Impunity. For those who did watch last night's game, well, you might see a very similar vibe there from that play. Moonblack tries to extend himself to finish off a kill. Last time it was Minji on the Lissandra. This time it was Ozzy on the Nocturne. But just one auto short. He can't find the finish and ends up just costing himself his own life in that regard. So Impunity lose yet another kill. Now they're down 4.5k gold. Things starting to look a little bit on fire.
I would have told you things are on fire from quite a while ago. This is really surprising because I think one of the big criticism for Berjaya was they were just not a very good early game team. They were a very, very slow team. The way they won in spring was usually punishing barren mishaps from the opponent team. That's when they kind of got back in the game most of the time. But this time around, BJD Dragons are showing with this new bottom lane, they can play pretty aggressively early as well. And Impunity do feel a bit on the ropes right now. They're 4,000 gold down, haven't been able to put up a kill in quite a while. And I just want to ask you, like, how do they even come back at this point as Moonblack takes a dredge line in the face, nearly goes down. And that was actually pretty smart, using the clone to make sure that that Arcane Barrage doesn't get full damage.
Yeah, I will say that Arcane Barrage does not have reduced damage against champions anymore, but like Impunity, the way for them to get back into the game is try and slow the game down. Right now, Moonblack, he's trying to get himself back involved into the game, but the rest of the team, they don't really need that. You have Gangplank, you have this Jinx, who are just late game terrors, and you just need to find a way to get gold into their hands. Setting up a 1-3-1 definitely could be a way for them to try and slow this game down. But the only issue is, well, Epic, he doesn't get to play the game once 25 minutes comes around, because all of a sudden the damage is online and he can get burst out. So we'll have to keep track of how Epic plays out the rest of this game.
Definitely feels like Olaf didn't get to do a lot in the early game, like you're saying. All of his lanes behind. And it seems like Impunity, you know, they still have some late game options here. Gangplank plus Jinx seem to be very, very strong when it comes to 3 items. So, you know, maybe if they can just hold on for now. But we do see full vision coverage from Berjaya on both sides of the river, in fact. And this is going to be, the next Drake will be an Ocean Drake. So a pretty high value Drake as well at that. It seems like Impunity have to give up a couple more Drakes. You know, the Drake stacking isn't really that fast from Berjaya, so hopefully Impunity can hold on.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of time for the side of Impunity to find gold and buy themselves more and more time, because again, they were able to snag that first dragon, so it does delay some of that power when it comes to threatening Dragon Soul. And Moonblack gets a short little freeze there. It's going to be slow pushing up top side, and it's all about catching what waves you can and then just making yourself as strong as possible for, well, 6 minutes from now when that next dragon does come online and when you would prefer to try and contest.
Do have to mention in the mid lane that Blaze actually took a bunch of poke. The True Shot Barrage was used, and I just checked, you are absolutely correct. It doesn't reduce damage anymore. I must be just my boomer self. So great call there for catching that mistake. And BJD Dragons, once again, just with the Ezreal poke, able to force a recall from Blaze. Perfect Herald time drop. And this does look like 2 towers about to go down, but we do have a TP on the back coming in. And so stopping Olaf from coming in on the front, and Moonblack has to fight for the paranoia. Doesn't find a target right here. Meanwhile, in the front line, Ozzy goes in, but doesn't find a kill. Oh, the Super Mega Death Rocket actually goes a little bit wide, and once again, Enzo chasing in, uses the Stormbringer to find Blaze on the backside. I was very, very close from a comeback mechanic by Impunity, but unfortunately unable to find the low HP bars on Velia. And now Moonblack is on a run. Has to take the scenic route through the jungle of the enemy. Can he actually get out of this one? I trust with his crafty LeBlanc, he should be able to still escape this one. But K2 is hot on the chase.
Yeah, he is absolutely hunting.
Oh, he's gonna get vision of it. One more auto attack, and that was a crit to finish it off. You can see the thumbs up right there. Oh, the Essence Reaver is gonna allow him to get the kill on that one. That was a little bit unfortunate right there, as we did see the 288 damage crit popping out at the very end.
Yeah, we're going to see the replay here, and honestly, the trigger was pulled just a little bit too early here. They could have bought a little bit more time, but they just wanted to try and swing the game back while the Olaf was still relevant here. That's really all I can think of, and unfortunately, all it does is really emphasize how large of a lead Berjaya do have in this game, as they find more kills, more gold, and I mean, they were going to get the dragon regardless, and It really is just fully out of control. I don't even know if Impunity, if they are able to farm up for, you know, the next 5 minutes, can they actually contest that next Vanguard? And in my opinion, it's probably just wait another 10 minutes where you just fight for soul.
Yeah, I think fighting for soul is definitely on the cards right here. We did see that Impunity actually was very close to getting that execute, especially from Blaze. If that super mega death rocket landed on Minji or Felia, those two members definitely would have died right there. But unfortunately it went a little bit wide, and we could also see at the start of the fight the power of paranoia. It's just so good against flanks. Moonblack had to go into that completely blind. He's gonna get a good damage test here. Let's see if he pulls the trigger. Still waiting for K2 to get a little bit closer to the brush. Should get his chance right about now. Pops over.
Oh no.
Doesn't get the second pistol or the chain. He's definitely lacking damage on that one. Here we have Ozzy going into the fray against 4. That was a great shield coming out, and now Minji gets his turn with the Everfrost. 2 stuns on the back, and they do get the kill onto Spurs. That's going to be the Sky Splitter going in with the combo of Stormbringer, turret disabled, and a beautiful dive, obliterating the bottom lane from Impunity.
It's just a pure obliteration, as you said. Berjaya find that fight the side of Impunity. They tried to go for the collapse. They tried to pick off the strongest member in K2 on this Ezreal, but it was all for naught. The collapse is just there. Double teleport. Well, a single teleport on Minji, but you have that ultimate coming in from Ozzy, and now it's just a 50-50 flip to try and swing the game, prolong the game with Epic.
Great play from Felio, actually coming in here, gets the stun and accidentally blocks the super effective death rocket from coming in as well. So probably unintentional, but still a great play coming in from our rookie support. And that will be the Baron buff going over to Berjaya Dragons. Impunity, 8,000 gold behind, still very far from third item. Blaze, once again, going into the jungle, and we see both hyper carries at this point, pretty much just taking as much resources from Epic as they possibly can.
Yeah, at this point in the game, it's just so hard to imagine a situation where Impunity can get back, because now the issue with this composition is that they lack really any trigger to start out a fight. They don't have any primary engage, or at least reliable primary engage. What they have is basically a Gangplank ultimate or the odd Thresh hook. That's really all they have to start out a full-blown team fight, and now you're going to see them really struggle to force picks because they don't have that easy trigger point.
Taking a look at the itemizations here, Philia looks like he's about to engage with that Randuin's Omen. And the gap between K2 and Blaze is also very significant. 3 completed items for K2 on one side, only 2 for Blaze.
Yeah, and this build coming in from K2 with the lethality focus is just so devastating against the composition of Impunity, because you look at their items, they don't have any resistance items. The only armor item that they have is the steel cap boots onto Epic, and that's not going to do much at this point in the game. So they're just getting absolutely shredded by these mystic shots coming out from the Ezreal.
Oh, we see Felia being stunned up right here. Flame Chompers does not connect, so he will be able to walk out. K2 burns his heal, make sure his support is fine. And Blaze is able to clear out the minion wave. However, this cannon is still here. Epic going for the smite. Not really enough. True Shot Barrage actually doesn't really do anything. Bit of a miss on that end. And the siege will continue, but into a different lane as Moonblack fishes for the engage. That would have been a pretty good fight there, potential 5v3, but doesn't manage to find the chain. And the siege now continues. Ozzy still does have his teleport, so could join onto the bottom side if the engage does come through. And it looks like Impunity, with the poke taken, with the abilities expended, oh, they're not going to find their opportunity.
Yeah, and this is the big also a really big negative point of this Impunity composition, right? Once Baron comes through, they have no way of clearing up Baron minions. They have no wave clear on this composition, so they're just going to have to slowly concede everything on their base, as they're going to lose 2 of those inhib towers. They're going to lose 1 of these inhibs, but can Moonblack finish off a kill?
He has to go back. Honestly, Minji was still pretty safe right there, had the Frozen Tome if you really needed to use it. A bit of a scare, and we see Berjaya finally heading towards the soul that they want to claim. It will be an ocean on this one. Impunity, they're just so far behind. No members even in their own jungle. Moonblack has to be the hero here if they even want a chance for a steal. Maybe Jinx can do something about this, but Enzo is already on the objective. Let's see if Blaze can find his target. He is in pretty good position. The angle is right, but it might just be a little bit too late. And Enzo with the smite.
I think they just don't have the confidence to predict how much HP is on that, but definitely worth a try if they really wanted to just toss it out. It's a relatively short cooldown at level 11, so it's not the worst of things to chuck out, but it's just going to be a bit of a slow bleed here for the side of Impunity, as Berjaya, they have the luxury of just really slow playing this out because of how far ahead they are. If this was maybe a 3,000 gold lead, I'd feel a little bit uncomfortable, but at over 10,000 gold, you're more than willing to cruise a little bit, waiting for that next objective.
True. Taking a look at the items again, since this is how Impunity can mount their comeback if they hit 3 items. You want to ask your opinion about this Serpent's Fang that we see coming in from Top King. You know, this is an item a lot of players have been picking up, but I kind of want to get your thoughts here in this situation when they're kind of behind. How would you judge this one?
Yeah, the Serpent's Fang, like, it provides a lot of raw stats, and it is relatively cheap, so it's not a poor purchase here, but the issue is, again, at this stage in the game, they have so many defensive stats here, and while it's not a ton of armor necessarily, you just need a little bit more punch, and a little bit more oomph, and while it's good for now, it will really slow down in just a couple of minutes. So this is probably the best opening for Top King. I just don't know if the rest of his team is going to be able to really help contribute to these team fights.
Berjaya simply walk into Impunity's base at this point. Excuse me, they don't have the soul just yet. I misread the Drakes. Moonblack goes in, but nearly just dies right there. He's able to walk out of the Sky Splitter, but Impunity cannot mount a successful team fight.
My God.
As Berjaya Dragons. Wow, that's so much damage. They just get all inhibitors at this point, working on the Nexus. Can Impunity find a way to get in? Top King's gonna find a barrel chain onto K2, and the ultimate does go down, but Ozzy disengages perfectly. Epic goes in, gets a nice Ward Drinker, still gonna die instantly, and Top King is down, so Impunity no longer has the front line, but they do get a return kill onto Enzo. Super Mega Death Rocket already used, not to find the target. Moonblack dodges back, he gets one on the return, but that's gonna be the full ace. Double kill by Ozzy, making sure to clean all of this up. It was a little bit dicey. Impunity still had some fight, but at the end, it was just too little, too late.
The start of Impunity's day, going to be 0-1. They've got 2 more games ahead of them, but Berjaya Dragons with an absolutely dominating game here definitely took me by surprise, and you know, it might boost their stock just a little bit when it comes to these power rankings.
Yeah, Berjaya finished below Impunity in the spring split, and I think this game was probably one of the biggest just oopsies go next in terms of the laning phase. I didn't expect this game to go like that, so I think Impunity can just chalk this one up to, you know, some individual mistakes here and there. Like, all 3 lanes lost by themselves without jungle interference, so you know, that's well, sometimes it happens.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games where if you're the jungler, Epic's just like, Man, what can you do? I've picked Olaf and all of my lanes are losing. I don't get to do Olaf things anymore, and if I don't do Olaf things, what am I doing?
Yeah, he didn't really have an impact. Most of his laners were starting to take his camp before 20 minutes, so I don't know. I feel like this was a fairly cut and dried game. You know, we definitely have a couple of these every split where the laning phase just gets horribly for one team, and you sort of wake up and realize, wait a minute, this isn't a scrim. It's 3:30, but it's actually an official game. We can't go next. So, yeah, just an overall very, very clean game for BJD, and I love this look for them. You know, this is, once again, not something we expect out of this squad. They were a very, very slow squad, but they have shown they do have that individual prowess to just punish teams if you are not careful in the early game.
Yeah, and I mean, so far we've seen 8 games of LeBlanc, and LeBlanc's actually only taken 2 wins so far. So that's something to keep note of, because it seems like in the meta right now, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of answers to LeBlanc, but you take it into this competitive setting, and all of a sudden you're just seeing this LeBlanc just really failing to get underway at all.
Yeah, LeBlanc it's such a strong pick. You know, my reference league personally is the LPL. That's the league I watch the most, and it's the second most picked champion in the LPL with a very high win rate. So I feel like, you know, in terms of the meta globally, it should work, but it just hasn't been the case in the PCS. We haven't been seeing tempo comps actually being able to hit their stride whatsoever. And we're going to be taking a look at the gold graph. Pretty much lead from start to finish from BJD Dragons, and very one-sided all across the board here.
It's blue all the way through here. And honestly, it was a fantastic performance from that bot side of the map. K2 Felia really took it to Blaze and Smurf, especially early on. Getting that double kill right there really helped snowball the rest of the game, right? Because then all of a sudden they didn't have to think about, hey, can we actually pull off the dive later on when Enzo hits level 6? It was like, well, we already have so much gold advantage down in the bot side. It's very easy to go ahead and then pull the trigger.
And I do want to point your attention to the gold swing around 8 minutes. They were able to win both side lanes and swap preemptively. Massive gold lead at that point. And our MVP is going to be K2 with a perfect game, no death, 4-0 and 10. Welcome back to the AD carry position.
Welcome back indeed. He almost finished 5k above Blaze, and really it was just all about that early game play, right? You get that double kill, then you get a bunch of plates in that, a couple of plates in that bot side, but then make the early rotation top side to get all 5 of those plates. And that was really just the beginning of the end. He got so much gold thrown into him. That lethality build as well just hits like an absolute truck.
Great to see him actually performing here, and it's refreshing to see that BJD can actually win games on something other than Xayah. So, well done. Their stock is definitely rising here, and, you know, I think that's going to be all for our special game of the day. This was a continuation of Day 2's game that did not finish. Yes, it was bonus coverage, and we will be heading into the actual set of Day 3 games shortly after this breaks. Thanks for all of our viewers that tuned in just a little bit early to catch the conclusion of BJD versus Impunity. We will have a fresh set of games coming right after.
CTBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.
We are family.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
CTBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.
We are family.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
CTBC Bank is Taiwan's top financial institution, but we're not stopping there. We're crafting an international brand and already have over 260 outlets in 14 countries. We are by your side, ready to embrace the future.